getting ready to open the 2012 season. Just tell me a little bit about your preparation in this fall so far.
Well, in preseason, we really had to work in the whole new group. We have 5 returners and 6 new players. So with that level of new players, we really had to work on our system. We didn't have as much time to spend on the individual skills. We had to get everybody running the defense right, running the serve receive right. And we actually have come a really long way. Our scrimmage last Saturday, I think our defense looked really strong. It was one of the things that we consistently did well looking back on the video. So I think that we've come a long way in that respect. Still dealing with some nagging injuries, I think, as everyone is dealing with. But what I'm happiest about is that the depth of the roster this year is higher than it has been in the past. I don't have doubts about the kids we need to sub in. So if someone goes down, we've got the next kid in line who knows what she needs to do.
You may have depth, but you're also replacing a first-team All-American. Tell me a little bit about how you're going to address losing London after her senior year.
Well, I think the first thing that helps us out is having Courtney Miller return, a 2-year starter. She's a junior now. She's a captain. I think that her confidence is much higher this year because of those things. We also have a great freshman that we brought in, Megan Kunkel, who we know is going to start and taking over that role, being a strong outside. She's definitely met our expectations so far. Other than that, we also have a transfer with Emily Gentle, who's done a great job playing both on the right side and the outside. So those are the couple of kids who I think are really going to help us not feel the sting of that loss as much as we could have.
Talk about the transition at setter moving into Maddie Sarah taking over the role.
Well, the best thing about Maddie is she is the most competitive kid I think I've ever coached. That kid hates to lose. She hates to lose more than she loves to win. And I think that that's something with a setter that's a strong quality. She's very demanding of her teammates, but she demands it in a way that they know it's because she knows they can do better. She is highly offensive, left-handed kid who will go and swing at the ball and loves to attack. So she adds another dynamic to the offense that we haven't had. She's a lot of fun to be around, high energy, so she brings a lot to the table.
You've got a large group of newcomers. Talk a little bit about how they're going to work in to the positions throughout the beginnings of the season.
Well, you know, we're just going to kind of work them through. I think that most of the kids that we have that are newcomers, like I said, are really fitting into the system. They understand it and have worked really hard to know what we want from them. We'll see how the first weekend goes. We've got a pretty set lineup that we're going to go with. But again, at any time we can throw in someone new, and I think that they'll be able to handle the challenge.
Speaking of that, just run us real quick who would be who you'd look at each position starting tomorrow against Angelo State.
Well, setting position, obviously, there's Maddie to speak about. We also have a junior college transfer with Maria Diaz, who is from Brazil and has brought a lot of depth for us. She's a strong setter. She's got a great serve that adds a lot to what we can attack other teams with. The other transfers we have are Ariel Sanders, who plays middle and right side for us, so we can put her in different positions. We have freshman Tasha Smith from the Houston area, who's done a great job in the middle so far. She's very dynamic, very athletic. Taylor Allison is a freshman DS from the Dallas area, and she's done a really good job in serve receive especially. I think she's going to bring a lot to the table in that area. So with all the new kids that we have, I think that they all have a shot to add depth to everything that we're doing, and a lot of the returners have helped lead them and show them the way.
Looking at this weekend specifically, you open with a nationally ranked team. I believe you have another nationally ranked team on your schedule through the 4-game weekend. What are your goals going in, and what would you consider a successful weekend?
Really, our goals are for us to get better. We're not going to look at wins and losses in terms of dictating what our success is. We need to make sure that we're using this weekend to build towards our home conference opener on September 11th. That's our goal. Making sure that we're cleaning up our system. Looking at our numbers in terms of hitting percentage, pass rating, things that we can control directly. Those are the things that are going to show us whether we're growing in our system and where we need to improve. It's always going to be tough to play nationally ranked teams. Angelo State is very strong. They have an older roster with a lot of returners. So that gives them consistency and confidence that we don't necessarily have yet. So it's a great challenge to start right away. And I think that regardless of who the ranking is of the teams that we're coming across, as long as we just do our game, we play in our system, I'm going to be satisfied with our results.
Now you're coming off of the best conference finish that the volleyball program has ever had, and you are picked third, which is where you finished heading into this season. What are your conference goals for throughout the year?
Well, I think at minimum, we want to keep that third place ranking. We want to make sure that we're competing in the top level of the conference, competing with the teams that year in and year out have that success. That's going to be our first goal. Every girl we've talked to in terms of their meetings, everyone wants to play well, be in the conference tournament, win in the conference tournament. I think that's our next goal where we need to go. To make the conference tournament was great. Now we need to get a win in it. With the older kids that we have with us, specifically Taylor Benner at Libero, she's going to be a leader for us in showing the girls what it's going to take to get those wins and to keep staying strong in the conference.